All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back for another week of Just a Fan Podcast. What's up? What's up?
What's
I
good?
I am the quarter host, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, the NFL Encyclopedia, Coach Williams. That direction is the defensive-minded guru, the middle linebacker himself, the guy that hits harder than Ronnie Lott. Panel
I'm the
360
Texas
coming out of
rattlesnake.
H-Town.
I'm the Texas rattlesnake.
You know it, you know it. Down below, the quarterback that runs this whole thing, Trish TV. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's good, everybody?
All right. And then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as you can see in the title, well, the second half of the title, AFC Talk with Anime Dolfan. He's a Dolphins fan. I met him through a Dallas Cowboys content creator named Vosh Lombardi. Y'all can check him out, especially if you're a Dolphins fan or if you're an AFC East rival, check him out. Okay, he has his own YouTube channel. It's in the description below. I also got his Twitter account in there. Anime Dolfan, real name is Rob. Rob, what's up, man?
How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. You want to plug your show? You want to plug your channel real quick?
Yeah, I'm Anime Dolfan on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Spelt the same way everywhere. So, yeah.
All right, y'all. So, like I said, he's a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, short, sweet, and to the point.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's my channel. Watch it. That's it.
Yeah. If you like it, you'll like it. I mean, I think my content stands for itself.
All right. So, let's go ahead and get started. We had some, well, at first, when it happened on surface, it was shocking. But then when you dug deeper into it, it was no longer as shocking. A few days ago, the Arizona Cardinals decided to give up on the 2023 season and cut wide receiver DeAndre Nuke Hopkins. Pando, talk to the fans, man. What do you think about this whole thing?
The Arizona Cardinals have now surpassed the Houston Texans as the most dysfunctional front office in the NFL because they did it because they had to do it because they were so they had mismanaged their cap so badly. But here's the thing, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Brandon, because you're the numbers cruncher. Had they waited until after June 1st, they could have saved a lot of dead cap.
Yeah. So what they did was when they cut him, they suffered a $22.6 million cap hit.
My God.
But when you do it after June 1st, actually you don't really have to do it after June 1st. You can designate him post June 1st because Dallas did it with Zeke this offseason.
Yeah, we just cut him. Jones.
They cut him in February, but they designated him with post June 1st. And as Rob just said, the Dolphins did the same thing with Byron Jones. They cut Byron Jones, but they don't get the savings until after June 1st. What happens is when you cut someone after June 1st or you designate a post June 1st cut, that's you take half of the hit this year and you take half of the hit next offseason. So
it doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. That, and I understand, maybe they do understand that they're not going to be competitive this year at all, but it is how it was done. It just didn't make any sense. And right now, DeAndre Hopkins has been quoted as saying, I want to go to a team that's a contender.
Yep.
has a quarterback that loves the game, and I do feel like that was an offhand shot at Kyler Murray,
Oh yeah.
who's been accused of not really taking his playbook seriously and not really studying like he should. And then he also said, "I want a stable front office," which was obviously a shot at Arizona's front office.
For sure.
So I'm like, now right now, from what I'm hearing, these are just rumors. Right now, Kansas City and Buffalo in the running for it.
Yeah.
And it bears relevance to the conversation that we're about to get into later about the AFC East. But those teams have all of those things that DeAndre Hopkins is looking for. They're contenders, stable front office, quarterback who loves the game.
And a defense. Well,
And
Kansas
it's
City,
solid defense.
Kansas City got a smart defensive coordinator. They don't have a fantastic defense, but okay.
It's decent enough.
Yeah, decent enough, exactly.
Yeah, it's decent enough. So-
Deshaun Watson came out either yesterday or the other day saying that he wants Nuke and Cleveland with him.
I bet he does.
Not gonna happen though.
Yeah.
Why would they go there?
Yeah, because they don't have the cap space. They had the cap space now because they restructured the contract, but the next 3 years of cap space for Cleveland is just horrendous. It is horrendous. Because each year Deshaun Watson eats up $60 million of cap space. So
And he didn't look that good last year either, to be honest. Like when he did come back.
yeah,
I'm gonna attribute that to rust. I'm gonna see now.
Potentially.
I feel the same way. But
If he craps the bed this year, then yeah, we can say that. But
Yeah.
I think he'll kind of get it together.
I agree, but if I were D Hop, it wouldn't be my 5th destination, let alone my 1st.
That's fair.
I think for Arizona, and we're gonna get to the NFC West later on in a few weeks. But I think for Arizona, I looked at a couple of their players. Hollywood Brown, his contract's up at the end of the season. I can see him as trade bait before the trade deadline. And Buda Baker once out, I can see him probably get traded before the trade deadline as well.
I can see that for sure.
Because my thing is they're gonna want draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
They're in rebuild mode.
They got to rebuild that team. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that they be trying to rebuild that team, which brings me back around to DeAndre Hopkins. When you talk about a player like that, yes, he's 30. He's going to be 31 by the time the season starts. They could have got some picks for him, but they probably wanted way too much for him.
They did.
They probably asked something ridiculous for him, and they probably got some offers that were pretty nice offers, but they like, no, we want this, and it's like, bro,
they really had no leverage either. I mean, he had 700 yards last year.
Exactly.
Well, so from what I heard, and I don't know how true it is, but I heard that the Cardinals wanted a Christian McCaffrey package, which means a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
See?
No, sir. No, sir. Because as great as I think DeAndre Hopkins is, you cannot just glaze over the fact that he missed a lot of time due to injury and the fact that he's going to be 31 at the beginning of the season.
Right.
So you got to factor those two major aspects into that. And it's like, okay, look, we want him, but we're not finna pay 2023 prices for a 2020 car. It's like, yeah. So it's like, he's not off the showroom floor, bro. He's got some miles on him.
Yes.
They had to put a new transmission in. That's some things to consider. So
plus, he was kind of talking about wanting out for a while, and when they're already disgruntled, you lose all your leverage. Christian McCaffrey was still, I think, willing to stay with Carolina, so they didn't lose that leverage.
Right. So it was more of a okay. Well, he said he don't want to be there anyway. We'll just wait till you release him. You got to.
Right.
We know you have to. Because you need to save the cap space, and he don't want to be there, and we'll just wait since you want you want to act crazy and ask for all of this. We'll wait.
Arizona should have taken the best offer they had.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But again, this goes back to the dysfunction of that front office. That's what it is.
But the thing is, though, that's a new GM because the other guy, Steve Keim, got fired.
I mean, that it can be a new GM if you want to, but if you remember those when those grades came out, Arizona was like one of the worst on almost every category. They had almost Fs across the board. That GM's not going to fix the whole front office in a couple of months.
That's true.
So, spoiler alert, I think we all in agreement here that our number 4 team for the NFC West is probably going to be the Cardinals this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going through a complete rebuild. They're going to trade away probably 2 more players at least. And that's without me even combing thoroughly through the roster. They're gonna get rid of a lot of players.
And then you also got to factor in: are you bigger than a 5th grader? Is he gonna play the first part of the season? I'm just saying.
And for when it comes time to try to sign free agents, are people gonna want to go play with Kyler Murray if you're a receiver? I mean,
no.
That part. That part as well.
Look. When they put that stipulation in this contract originally, and then they try to pull it out when they knew how bad it made him look, that was it for Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
that was it. And everybody was like, first of all, if you have to put a stipulation like that into your contract, why even give him this big contract extension? That doesn't make any sense. And everybody in that locker room. And I mean, everybody in the locker room knows how bad of a quarterback he truly is. But D-Hop was able to bail him out. D-Hop ain't there no more. D-Hop is not going to be able to bail him out. And Hollywood Brown is not an anchor wide receiver that's going to be also to be able to help him bail him out.
Because if he was anchor wide receiver, he'd still be in Baltimore. Let's be real.
Yep, 100%.
Uh-oh.
Shots fired.
They wouldn't need another speed receiver this year.
See?
Thank you. So that says a whole lot, but we'll be watching this with great interest. We'll see what's about to happen, but I think we're all in consensus. We're in consensus about how they mismanaged this DeAndre Hopkins situation in Arizona. Yeah. Tristan, what you got to say, man?
Well, the Arizona Cardinals have been quite dysfunctional since Harrison
beginning of time?
the 90-yard touchdown on them in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So they ain't really been the same since. It's just poor decisions because they were such rash decisions. Instead of taking time to form your organization, form your team, basically just try to do a bunch of quick hits. Bringing in J.J. Watt, who was still effective, but he wasn't J.J. Watt of old. Bringing in DeAndre Hopkins with, I'm going to put 40% on Kyler Murray and 60% on Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, when you look at Cliff Kingsbury's track record, he's never shown that he's had an offense that tailors to the offense. He was just fortunate to have probably just really talented, physically gifted players, and even then, it didn't illustrate into wins for his respective teams. But you brought him over there, letting go of Reddick probably was not the best of idea. See what he's doing now with the Eagles, man. I mean, it's just a lot of bad decisions after bad decisions after bad decision. Drafting Josh Rosen in the top 10, you could have used that draft pick somewhere else. The kid Isaiah from Clemson. I mean, he's decent, but was he worth the top? What was he? Top 5, top
7 easily.
I think he's being misused.
I would have taken him there too.
That's the problem. Arizona misuses all of their players. They don't know how to develop them properly. When you look at Larry Fitzgerald was basically ready made. And Quan Bolden was somebody that was well polished when he was drafted.
Yes.
Then you never really fully groomed a real quarterback for your team. You just kept picking up people, Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer. When you tried to draft, you drafted Matt Leinart. I mean, that didn't, you saw how that worked out. Kevin Cobb realized how average he was. So you had different quarterback situations. You never truly developed anybody. You took running backs that were supposed to be possible. Beanie Wells did not pan out. There's so many players at different positions that probably did not pan to be who they were supposed to be because the organization is so poor at development.
Yeah.
And when you mix poor development with rash decisions, you're going to end up in these kind of situations. No one, I think one of you guys said it, no one as a free agent is eyeing Arizona as a destination to go to. The only way that's going to work out is that we need to see a complete turnaround of Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray looks like the baller he was supposed to be coming out of Oklahoma, then you'll probably see people have some intrigue of going over there. But you're not going to get no top-end receiver to want to play there, knowing how he played the quarterback position in the last couple of years. Whether it's all of his fault, whether it's not all of his fault, it's still the results are the results. Tape don't lie, as the old saying goes.
Exactly.
So, it's going to be an uphill climb for them. I mean, you're talking about being in the bottom cellar. Look at what the Seahawks have done. The 49ers have basically had a chokehold on the division. The Rams, the Rams will have to retool, but I mean, with Sean McVay, I kind of give him more credit, seeing he's been to the Super Bowl more recently than Arizona. I give him credit that he'll figure it out. And so it just leaves Arizona in the cellar.
Yeah.
So until something changes, either Kyler Murray is gone and they start all over, or you tell me that he had a maturation period during this offseason, it's going to be the same old story.
Yeah. Going back to Hassan Reddick was just like Isaiah Simmons. They did not use him correctly defensively. The only other two draft picks they really hit on was Budda Baker and Patrick Peterson.
And Patrick Peterson was also more or less a complete project too.
Exactly. So, and Budda Baker had a mentality to just want to be a great football player.
Right.
And he just kept getting better and better and better. And, it's at a point now Budda Baker wants out.
You never looked at a player that was a Pro Bowler out of Arizona. You were like, that was some good coaching. No. They were just really good players.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah, I can go with that.
And for the most part, they came from some other coach that developed them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and it's literally the die is cast when you start to see players of the caliber of a DeAndre Hopkins, even though he's 31, and you got a Budda Baker, and these guys, these high caliber players are like, I want out.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get out of here. It's not even about the money. I just want to go.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this is bad. I was in a horrible school district first 12 years of my career. Like, I saw it was like standing on the crow's nest of the Titanic, and you can see the iceberg in the distance. And it's like, dude, I got to get out of here. And I managed to get out of there. And as soon as I got out of there, man, it hit the iceberg, man. The state came in and took over the district. I'm not gonna say what district that was, but some people that know me personally know who I'm talking about. But it's that type of thing, man. It's like you got the good players that's going, hey man, this is a dysfunctional, and we're going on a whole NFC West rant right now. But we need to save it for later. But yeah, it's right now. Before these things happen, we were talking about the Houston Texans, probably one of the most dysfunctional franchises in the league. And just this offseason, they've already started a trend where they're kind of 180 and they're heading in the right direction with a lot of decisions that they made financially, personnel-wise, so on and so forth. Now it's literally like the Cardinals are like, oh no, hold my beer. We're going to show you how dysfunctional can be. So yeah, it's pretty bad over there. And like I said, spoiler alert, I think we all in consensus that we have when we do our NFC West show. I think everybody's going to have the Cardinals as that number 4 team in the NFC West. So, but let's get down to the nitty gritty of why we having this show. So again, you see my man Anime Dolfan down there. He is a guest on the show tonight because, again, we're in week 3 of an 8-week series where we go division by division and we basically preview the division going into the season. And tonight we're talking about the AFC East, which Anime Dolfan, as you could tell by his name, is a Dolphins content creator, and he's our guest tonight. So check us out because we about to talk about the AFC East. If you like to talk about your division and we hadn't covered it yet, hit us up on all the inboxes of our social media. And you could be a guest too.
Facebook,
let's
Twitter,
go.
TikTok, and IG.
Let's go. Let's talk
go.
about
All
this AFC East about to be interesting as all get out this season.
Pando, who do you got number 4?
I have the New England. We're going to find a way to cheat Patriots.
All right, let's talk about it.
Because I don't like Mac Jones. And I praise God every day that they did not allow Kyle Shanahan to draft Mac Jones. I don't like Mac Jones. Period. Yes, Christian Gonzalez was drafted, and it was fortuitous that Christian Gonzalez fell to the Patriots like that because he is phenomenal.
Yeah.
That defense is still going to be solid, but it's quarterback play. What you gonna do? Quarterback play. You gotta have a quarterback, especially in that offense. You gotta have a quarterback. So, and right now, just now, I don't care if Tua has 3 concussions. He's better than Mac Jones at this point.
So is Mike White.
And so is Mike White.
If it comes down to it.
Yes. And then you got Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. And then you got Josh Allen with Buffalo. So you look at quarterbacks, they have the worst quarterback situation in that division right now. Thank you, Eric James. He was on our show last week. Who Dat Nation? Shout out to Eric James.
504, what's up? Rob, who you got at number 4?
I also have the New England Patriots. I agree. Mac Jones is pretty whack. I won't be surprised if he has a bit of a jump just going from Matt Patricia to Bill O'Brien because it's just not Matt Patricia. A defensive coordinator being your offensive coordinator, you got to do better.
Well, we talked about that ad nauseum back in
his top receivers being Juju Smith-Schuster, Devontae Parker, Hunter Henry, and Mike Gesicki, all guys that can't create space when your quarterback isn't accurate, is just a bad decision. I mean, I don't know how they plan on scoring points. Their defense is going to be solid. They're going to run the ball, but their offensive line ain't shit. So I have no confidence in their ability to score points at all. So.
All right.
Definitely number 4.
Yeah, I got New England number 4. I agree with you, Rob. What you call it? What was I going to say? Bill O'Brien. Mac Jones should get better with Bill O'Brien. No true number 1 receiver. I mean, Juju's a 2. Antonio Brown made him look better than what he was. Antonio Brown's the reason why he keeps getting these contracts. So he needs
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm trying to figure out how Bill Belichick is gonna respond when he sees Juju doing TikToks at midfield.
Oh,
I know. I thought that when they signed him. Like that's gonna be hilarious.
Because Bill ain't about that foolishness.
No,
he is not. If anybody's disciplined, I'm talking about more disciplined than Bill Parcells, is Bill Belichick.
And you know what's gonna be interesting is Juju and Kayshon Boutte. That's an interesting duo.
Yeah, they and like Eric said, you know, the defense gonna be fine. Christian Gonzalez is definitely a cornerback 1. I'm not gonna do it, but yeah, they should be fine on defense, but offensively, forget it. Mac Jones. I know. I'm sure they want him to be Tom Brady. He's nowhere near Tom Brady in New England. Good luck. Find a quarterback in a year or 2. And Tristan, what you got, man?
I definitely got the Patriots as 4 similar reasons. Mac Jones, I feel like he has a certain ceiling. I do think he'll slightly improve just having Bill O'Brien as his coordinator, not a defensive coordinator who was a failed defensive coordinator, failed head coach, be his offensive coordinator. But you don't have, like, what weapons do you got? Like, legit. Like, we're in a new age. This is not 2001. This is not 2004. It's like you have to evolve, and I feel like Bill Belichick has just been trying to come up with the same system, thinking that there's going to be some kind of change, and that's not the case. Like, you have to evolve your team.
Yes.
And I thought they would have been a little more aggressive this offseason, and they weren't. So Yeah, I'm
And
not high on them on that.
And honestly, though, when they were playing well, their receivers were mostly, route runners that could create space. Now they got a bunch of big, slow, physical guys that most of the time can't even stay healthy, like Devontae Parker. And I don't know what they expect Mac Jones to do with that. Like, I really don't. He ain't going to elevate them.
Y'all remember the Peanuts Thanksgiving special?
Yes.
You remember when they had Thanksgiving dinner, they had popcorn and chips, and they made Thanksgiving dinner out of that. That's the Patriots. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a great analogy.
There you go.
Lord have mercy. All right. So we all in full agreement that New England's at number 4.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3 for me. And this might be a shock to y'all.
I don't think it will be. I think we're on the same page, but go ahead.
I think all 3 of them you can make an argument from here on.
And here's my thought. I honestly feel like you can get 3 playoff teams out of this division.
For sure.
You probably could.
I feel like that. So
I agree.
But I'm probably not going to be shocked at what you're about to say, Brandon. Go ahead.
My number 3 team are the Jets, Jets.
Okay.
Did you see me going that direction?
No, I didn't, but okay.
I did because I agree.
Oh,
okay.
I love the addition of Aaron Rodgers. Okay. I just don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's committed this season. I just don't know I don't know how much of Aaron Rodgers you're going to get this season. You have a great running game in Brees Hall when he comes back healthy. You have some good receivers. You have a good defense. You have very good corner and Sauce Gardner. I love the draft pick of Will McDonald. I'm concerned about your offensive line, though, a little bit. I like Elijah Vera Tucker at guard from Southern Cal, who you got a couple years ago. But you had 3 offensive tackles who couldn't stay healthy, including former first-round pick Mekhi Becton. Now, Mekhi Becton, from what I understand, is more committed this offseason. He lost some weight, and so we'll see how that transitions. But as of right now, I'm concerned with your offensive line. Now, Aaron Rodgers can probably hide that offensive line to the best of his ability. But the one thing I always believe in is you can have all the regular season success, and this is regular season talk. But when you play against those playoff caliber teams, you kind of get exposed. And Vic Fangio is in that division, running somebody's defense. Bill Belichick is in that division, running somebody's defense. Sean McDermott is in that division, running somebody's defense. Jets' offensive line could have a tough time from time to time. Also, the AFC East does play the NFC East, which means Philadelphia's defense, Dallas's defense, Giants' defense, and Washington's defense. Okay? You play the AFC West. Well, I'm not worried about too many of the defenses, but the Jets also, okay, I'm not worried about Atlanta, Houston. Okay, well, Houston's defense is going to be better. And we'll see what Cleveland's defense look like. But Jets going to have some bumps in the road this year. They're going to have some bumps in the road this year.
I would agree. The Mekhi Becton thing, though, I don't know if he's as committed as people think. He had a quote recently saying that basically he was very disgruntled with the training staff and everything like that with the Jets because they were basically trying to rush him back from an injury last year. And just the whole handling of that, he's kind of disgruntled with them. I do agree with what you said about Aaron Rodgers struggling against a lot of playoff caliber teams. And right now with the AFC, that's just about every AFC team. So honestly, strength of schedule ain't even worth talking about with the AFC because it's going to be brutal for every single one of them. And I mean, I know he's going in with Nathaniel Hackett, so he's going to know the system, but a lot of the young receivers will not. I mean, I know obviously Alan Lazard will, Randall Cobb will. but a lot of them won't. And I'm not sure what version of Aaron we're going to be getting this year, at least consistently. Good running game, good defense, like you said. But and this is also more about the top two than it is about them. So,
Pando. You muted.
I didn't realize I was muted. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what? And hold on, before you go, I think your number 3 team is probably be who my. Hey, I'm gonna tell everybody something real quick. I was finished with my list on Saturday, but I made a change before the show started. So I feel like your number 3 team might be who my number 3 team was originally. Who's your number 3 team?
My number 3 team is the Buffalo Bills.
Yep, that was my original number 3.
Really?
Yep.
And here's why: there've been mass defections on defense, and they're not going to be able to cover up a lot of Josh Allen's faux pas and the mistakes that he makes. Josh Allen's still going Josh Allen, but eventually, and Steve's not on the show right now because he's dancing at the Peppermint Hippo, but basically, Steve has been saying this for the longest. Josh Allen's style of play is going to lead to him fooling around and getting injured. And he's been dodging bullets and dodging bullets and dodging bullets and dodging bullets, this, that, and the third. But eventually, he's going to the chickens are going to come home to roost. And he's going to get, I feel like he's going to get an injury this year. He's seeing better defenses in this division. You know, Robert Saleh in his second year in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vic Fangio is just in Miami. That's all you got to say. Vic Fangio just dropped the mic.
Man.
You know, Bill Belichick's defense is still going to be solid. You see it, and it's going to be better. You're going to see better defenses. And I think he's going to make some mistakes against these defenses. And in the past, you had guys like Tremaine Edmonds that were basically the erasers. You had those safeties that were great safeties in Buffalo. They were erasers. They're not there anymore. Especially your Mike Becker. And they didn't do much to replace this guy. And so I really think they're going to take a step back. Now, does that mean I don't think they're going to make the playoffs? No, I think they'll make the playoffs. They're just going in as a wild card this year. They're not going to run the division. I just don't see that because Josh Allen could get injured and that defense is not as good as it should be. Now, all of that can change if they fool around there and sign somebody like you say Bill's GM told him not to run as much. We'll see because Josh Allen like the Josh Allen, but so it could kind of turn the hand just a little bit if they go out and get somebody like a DeAndre Hopkins because they're in the running to sign him. But that defense is still not going to be able to erase a lot of the mistakes. He's going to have more targets if you add a DeAndre Hopkins, sure. But the defense is not going to be as good as it was. And that was a great eraser for a lot of the issues that the offense. They got to learn to run the ball more also.
That too.
And people are starting to realize, hey, y'all don't like to run the ball. It's 3rd and 1. Why y'all? What? Okay, so that's what y'all gonna do. Bet.
It's actually almost like a Steve Spurrier in Washington mentality.
Yo, and that's gonna come back in, and it's gonna come back to haunt them, man. So right now they're gonna be a good enough team to win enough games to get into the Thank you, Samuel Rosa. I think he's right. They did lose it. Brandon, you check on that. I think they did lose their DC.
Was it Leslie Frazier was their DC?
I believe they did.
Yeah. So not only did you lose good players, but you lost a DC. So
but see, you lose a DC a year after you lost your OC.
So that's why I think they're gonna take a step back. There's enough talent on this roster to make the playoffs, however. But I don't think they're going to be as dominant as they were in the past years. Tristan?
Number 3 is I got the Jets, but I definitely could have had the Bills there for the similar reasons that you described. But I'm going to have the Jets at 3 just because it always happens in all sports, and I don't know why people don't pay attention enough. hide it. There's always an option. There's always an aspect in where when you put a team together, well, I guess the outlier was Tom Brady and the Bucks. But when you put a team together like that looks like it's going to be a bunch of all stars all over the place. The issue is that them gelling has to be a key component. Now, Aaron Rodgers is going to be good. Yes, I got you. Aaron Rodgers is going to be good, but Aaron Rodgers is not going to be the Aaron Rodgers that won the Super Bowl good because he's not. He's just not there. So I would have the Jets at 3 just because of that. That still needs to gel. She's making me read.
I think she agrees, Brandon. I mean, Tristan. I think she agrees.
Yeah. What I was going to say, and see, Buffalo hasn't done anything to really upgrade their roster.
No, and their draft wasn't anything crazy either.
They haven't moved the needle. I mean, they drafted a tight end and Kincaid, but
it's the ones that left, and on top of that, the fact that they didn't do anything to replace the ones that left.
No.
Yeah, so that's why I have them as my number 3.
And also, with the whole thing about them saying Josh Allen ain't going to run anymore, that might, take away some of the injury risk. But I hope that happens with Vic Fangio. If he's just going to stand still and let our pass rushers go get him, I hope that's what he does.
Boy, look at you.
Hey, look. You guys traded for Bradley Chubb last offseason. You're going to give him a full offseason in Miami with Vic Fangio.
With Vic Fangio back.
Right.
With Emmanuel Ogbah, Jalen Phillips, Malik Reed, Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah, you guys got
Christian
guys.
Wilkins.
Fangio is a mastermind when it comes to getting after the quarterback. And Vic Fangio's been doing this stuff for decades, man. I'm talking about decades.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. I hope he tries to stand still and try to pick us apart. I hope that's what he tries to do.
Well, good luck with that one. All right.
He barely beat Skylar Thompson.
Yeah. And that's why I originally had them at number 3, but I said, I'm gonna bump them up. And what I did was I bumped them up, and let's move on to number 2. I did bump up Buffalo to number 2 an hour ago, well, more than an hour ago. But I mean, we just talked about Buffalo not really doing too much to move the needle. You lost your middle linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds. I don't think you did anything to replace him. Stephon, I'm not saying Davis is not a good number 2 receiver, but you need another receiver out there for Josh Allen. Because if not, they're going to just stand still, and come playoff time, it's not going to look good for them. All right, who wants to go number 2?
I got it. I have, for my number 2, I have the New York Jets.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I have the New York Jets because of my faith in Robert Saleh to run a defense. And this is his second year running that defense. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play defense. And in this type of offense, this scheme, Miami's running the same scheme. You don't need Aaron Rodgers to be the Aaron Rodgers of old. You just need him to be smart, and he has the ability to do that. So he very rarely makes mistakes, even when he put the whole team on his back. You're not even asking him to do that now. You just ask him to make the throws where they need to be made. So I think the Jets are gonna jump up, and they're gonna be, especially if Breece Hall is healthy. If Breece Hall is healthy, there were a lot of games. The Jets should have won if they just had competent quarterback play last year. You have to account for that. It's like, okay, if they just had a quarterback with half a brain, they would have won this game. And I'm talking about most of the games that they lost with Zach Wilson in the game. But now they have that. Not only do you have a quarterback with some brains, but you have a quarterback with some ability. Even at this late stage of his career, he still has ability to make some plays that are off script. So Garrett, I don't think we've really seen what he can do with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. And then again, this is an offense that's predicated off the run now. So it's not, hey, Aaron, go win us a game. It's like, hey, Aaron, it's 3rd and whatever. let's convert this third down. That's all I need you to do, because the defense is gonna come in and erase anything that gets any mistakes that get made. That's why I have the New York Jets as my number 2 team in this division. Brandon?
Yeah, I already said I got Buffalo too. It wasn't really much more for me to say because we've already said it.
I do agree. I would also put Buffalo number 2.
Okay.
And also with the Jets, you mentioned Garrett Wilson. I do agree that we haven't seen his best game, but I also think that Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis, the rest of that receiving core is pretty average. But I just think that with Buffalo, yeah, their defense is definitely going to take a big hit. But honestly, until I actually see the Jets on game day actually working as a cohesive unit, I have a hard time putting them up against Buffalo because they have been the most consistent team within the division within recent years. Like I said, I think their defense will take a hit, and that's why they're not number 1. They also let go of Devin Singletary as well, and I know they got Damian Harris, Latavius Murray, but that doesn't really make up for it in my eyes. Offensive line is still suspect, and yeah, kind of a lot of what you guys said.
So you think that the determining factor between 2 and 3 with Buffalo and the Jets is basically just team cohesion through experience?
Correct.
Okay, I can't dispute that.
Hey, same here, man. Same here.
Yeah,
I think it's a close race, and I wouldn't be shocked because I mean they are relying a lot on Josh Allen, but so far when they've asked Josh Allen to step up, he pretty much has. So I still put them number 2. I can't put them higher than that because we'll get there. But
all right, Trisha, who you got number 2, man?
I got the Buffalo Bills, and the reason is really one reason: lack of running game. Till I see that proven, it's going to be the same show, different day. Like that's really it is. Josh Allen or bust. Until I see a running game and a real competent slot receiver to get the in and out breaks with, so he doesn't have to go long ball or none. It's just going to be the same story. So that's why that's the main reason I have my number 2. Also, the fact that they weren't as aggressive, and I'm like, you're a team that really your window is about to shut as far as possibly being in the Super Bowl, and you guys weren't aggressive this offseason. That was a little shocking.
No, I agreed. And that's the point we were saying. Like, you know, you lost Tremaine Edmonds, didn't replace him. You brought in who's the safety they brought in from the Rams? Taylor Rapp.
Taylor Rapp.
That's gonna be a third safety on the depth chart. That doesn't move the needle. You drive to Dawson Kincaid. I mean, all right, but that to me that doesn't move the needle. You didn't do anything. And yeah, Taj, I just mentioned that they drafted Dawson Kincaid, but to me, it's not enough to move the needle. You didn't do anything to sit there and say, "Hey, we're going to be a threat. We're going to be a bigger threat to Cincinnati. We're going to be a bigger threat to Kansas City." Meanwhile, we might have the best chance of winning the division, which they don't because they didn't do anything. They pretty much just sat on their hands and just that was it.
also, they drafted Dalton Kincaid, and that's cool, but they also just paid Dawson Knox. So.
I was just about to go there.
Yeah, that
was a head scratcher.
Yeah.
That was definitely a head scratcher. Pardon me, I'm actually scratching my head. But yeah, that was a head scratcher. You just paid Dawson Knox all this money, and then you went and drafted a tight end. So you running like around 21. What are you personnel? What are you doing?
12 personnel.
12, excuse me. 12 personnel.
You want 12 personnel, but
dyslexia.
Look. I mean, it's gonna help you on 3rd and short. It's gonna help you in the red zone.
Are they gonna actually run it on 3rd and short?
Is it? Because he can't block.
Well, I say it helps on 3rd and short because you can put him on the seam route.
I guess you could do that with D-Hop too, or a big receiver.
I just don't. It's a head scratcher.
But a great point from Tristan. They don't have a receiver that can truly work underneath. Kincaid is going deep. Dawson Knox, He might work some underneath stuff, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Diggs because of his route running. He can work some underneath stuff, but you don't have that. You don't have that wide receiver that's a 3rd and 7 chain mover, and that's gonna probably have to be Kincaid or Knox.
Honestly, I think the closest thing they really have to that is that running back and Naeem Hines. That's probably the closest thing they have underneath.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm just not very high on Buffalo, and I like Buffalo. I'm just not high on them. That's why I still have them as my 3. I can't put them at 2 for all of the reasons that y'all talking about right now, along with what I already said.
Well, it's a tough race between the Jets and Buffalo for me.
It really is, and I mean, like I said, originally I had them at 3 before this show started. I originally had them at 3. I moved Buffalo up. Why? Honestly, I don't know. But number one, we all have Miami as a sweep for number 1 to win the division. I think bringing in Vic Fangio is going to change that defense a whole lot. Fangio is going to change that defense a whole lot.
Yeah. That's the determining factor. And again, the defense was already good.
Yes.
Okay. Because again, I want to remind folks in the playoffs, they were holding Buffalo down, and they had a 3rd-string rookie quarterback in.
Yep.
Damn near won that game if it hadn't been for the mismanagement of the clock.
And that's another reason too.
So that scheme, again, I keep screaming about this scheme. That particular scheme, San Francisco runs it, Miami runs it, the Jets run it. That scheme is just dependent on your quarterback just not being stupid.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a dynamic quarterback to win football games in that scheme. If you got a solid running game, which Miami does.
Yes.
And if you have a solid defense, which Miami does, and it has gotten better over the offseason on paper.
Just with Vic Fangio. And then, Jalen Ramsey's going to be the number 2 corner.
Deshaun Elliott adding depth there. Malik Reed. David Long. Yeah, guys.
You deep at corner, and Vic Fangio. Now his coverage scheme is different from what San Francisco runs. His coverage scheme is way more complex.
Mm-hmm.
I follow a couple guys on Twitter regarding his coverage scheme.
To be clear, when I said scheme, I was talking about the offensive scheme.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were talking about offense because you said quarterback, so I knew you was going there. But I'm talking about Fangio right now. For coverage, good luck throwing the ball. This is going to be something different for the Miami Dolphins when it comes to coverage. Josh Allen, actually, you played Josh Allen twice. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys get 4 interceptions total combined between the 2 games, Rob.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And another thing, too, about our DBs is Xavier Howard was also playing all year with a groin injury, and he wasn't at his best all year last year. He's healthy now, so that only makes it more dangerous.
And Jalen Ramsey's an upgrade over Byron Jones,
and he didn't play. Byron didn't play at all last year.
Right. So that's a huge upgrade because Byron Jones, I mean, it sounds like from the way he was talking, he just didn't take care of himself. He just let his body break down, and that's sad. Yep. You saw a guy coming out of UConn with all this athleticism, speed, vertical, board jump, and he just let his body break down. And he's talking about he's not going to retire. Do need to retire.
Yeah, I agree. The only things I'm concerned about is with the offense. Mike McDaniel, I do love him, but there were times where I do believe he kind of got tunnel visioned and didn't really adapt to a lot of situations. We really made our money throwing the ball deep downfield last year, despite expecting to be a run-heavy team. But there were times, especially against like the Chargers and the 49ers, where when we ran the ball, it was successful, but we kind of went away from it, and we're still trying to force the ball downfield. And that kind of got us into some trouble. Also, our offensive line, Liam Eichenberg, Austin Jackson are obviously concerns. Teron Armstead's probably going to miss some time at some point. And, I mean, if Tua stays healthy, I think we are easily taking this division, especially if him and Armstead are healthy for the majority of the year. If he misses a couple games and Mike White has to step in, I think we're fine.
You're in a better quarterback situation than you were in last year.
Yes,
100%.
Even if
depth
Tua,
chart, your depth chart is deep.
yeah,
Yes.
even if Tua doesn't play, or let's say, God forbid, he's out with another concussion, which really he should retire if he gets another concussion.
I agree.
But let's say he doesn't play a couple of games. Mike White is more than capable in this scheme to win. If he's out for 4 games, Mike White can win you all 4 of those games.
I agree.
So, Miami is and talking about Mike McDaniel, and I'm gonna chalk that up as inexperience.
Agreed.
And he's gonna learn from his mistakes. He's a very smart coach. He's gonna learn from his mistakes. And I think when he gets in those type of situations and they present themselves again, like we talked about in pre-production before we went on the air, he's gonna be like, okay, I did this last time. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to do this.
Yes, I do think he'll correct it, but I still got to point it out.
Yeah, so I really think that I really believe that Miami can win this division going away, but I still believe Buffalo and the Jets still get in. I think there's going to be 3
I agree.
teams coming out of this division into the playoffs.
The only way Buffalo, I shouldn't say the only way. Buffalo's not going to make it if Josh Allen keeps running around.
Yeah,
if he gets a major injury. Yeah.
I mean, does Buffalo win a game if Josh Allen isn't there? I don't know if that.
No.
That's why if he goes down with a significant injury and he's out, he misses a significant time, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I don't even know who the backup quarterback is.
Kyle Allen and Matt Barkley.
Yeah, no, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
they're in trouble. Tristan hasn't said anything. Does your daughter want to get a prediction?
I know Miami's number 1, but why is that?
You got the NASCAR for your receiving core, including the running back position over there.
Yep.
I keep telling people, I think look out for the maturation of Tua. I think Tua will make a jump. So it's really health, not ability. I think Mike McDaniel is the ideal coach to able to coach him up to his full potential. You got Vic Fangio down there for the defense, with a defense that wasn't terrible, but just needed a little more aggression, a little more push. So Vic Fangio, one thing he can do, he might not be a great head coach, but he'll coach defense very well. So that I just and the way Miami played, like in the playoffs, you want to say something? Okay. The way Miami played in that playoff game. If Tua was in that game, we're having a completely different discussion. So I'm encouraged to see. Yes, and they've improved on that offensive line. I'm encouraged to see what they do this season. Yes. You agree? Yeah. Okay. She agreed. Miami too.
There you go. And going back to the Dolphins depth chart, I mean, the rookie quarterback got playoff experience last year.
Yeah, I think he'll take a step forward.
That's right. That's a step forward for him. So even he can still remains a third-string quarterback, but that's probably the best third-string quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
because of that playoff experience, and hopefully he learns and grows from that. I mean, I'm not saying he was terrible because he wasn't, but take that playoff game, grow and learn from it.
He wasn't terrible, it was just inexperienced. He mismanaged the clock.
Right.
That was it. That was it. He wasn't bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, just learn from what happened, whatever went wrong, learn from it, grow from it, and you should be fine moving forward. That's why I say you got the best depth chart at quarterback in the NFL right now.
I would agree.
All right.
Now, granted, I think there's a reason for that, but I think they're kind of scared of that. But, and I also think that just being year 2 with Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson at their new positions with Mike McDaniel, I do think that'll probably help.
Right.
Last year, Liam went from left tackle to right guard to left guard, and Austin Jackson went all the way across the line from left tackle to right tackle. So hopefully year 2 in the system playing the same position, they'll improve as well. And hopefully we'll actually run the ball a little bit more consistently too. Be a little bit more balanced.
I feel like y'all will.
I do too.
Okay, so to recap, Tristan has from bottom to top, Tristan has New England, the Jets,
Buffalo, Miami.
The Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Brandon,
But Buffalo and the Jets can interchange.
Yes.
I
I
agree.
think we all agree with that.
Yes.
I think we all on the same wavelength on that one.
Yep.
Brandon has New England 4th, Jets 3rd, Buffalo 2nd, and Miami 1st.
Yep.
And I, because I just got to be different, I have New England 4th, Buffalo 3rd, the Jets 2nd, and Miami 1st. So I think
Rob had Patriots, Jets, Buffalo, Miami. So
Yep.
we all agreed that New England is 4 and Miami is 1.
Yep.
But Jets and Buffalo is interchangeable at 2 and 3.
Yes.
And it just
if I could do a 2A, 2B, I would have done that.
Exactly.
But that's a cop out.
Exactly.
I think it could flip because we're really probably talking about maybe 1 or 2 games of difference.
Yes,
For sure.
It might be 1 game.
I think that might actually be the case for all three of the top teams.
Yeah, it could be a half game. Honestly. Yeah. It really could be. It could be that close. But I think these top 3 teams are good enough to make the playoffs.
For
sure. What happens when they get in? Hey, I don't know. But these top 3 teams probably are good enough to make the playoffs. I feel really strongly about that. So, Rob, Anime Dolfan, thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yes, sir. Hey, plug your channel one more time.
Anime Dolfan. You see it on the screen. ANIME on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Come follow me if you like draft stuff, like Dolphin stuff. I do miscellaneous NFL stuff too at times. So, yeah.
All right.
So, again, this is week 3 of our 8-week series that we're going to have a guest on for each division that we're talking about. Tonight we did the AFC East. Next week is going to be a humdinger because, man, look here. We got that one of the dirtiest, grimiest divisions in football, and that's the NFC East. You're talking about your Commanders, you're talking about your Eagles, you're talking about your Cowboys, you're talking about your Giants. It's going to get really, really interesting in here. So I encourage all of you to tune in and watch. If you would like to be a guest on Just a Fan Podcast during this series, by all means, hit us up on any of our social media platforms in the DM. Say, hey, I'm a fan of this team, and I'd like to be a guest on your show, and here's why. And give us your email address, and we'll make sure we vet you. And if you're good to go, we'll put you on the show. That's right. How we get down, because we're just fans, and you're just fans too, and we want to talk about football. So once again, thank you. If you watched tonight and you weren't subscribed, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, please. And hit the notification bell so you know when we go live, which is every Tuesday night, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. So thank you all again for watching. Thanks for the new subscribers. Once again, thanks, Anime Dolfan. You did a fantastic job.
Yes.
Follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on TikTok. We're on, oh my God, we have so many. Brandon, run them down.
All right, so here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for watching our show. We are currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, okay? You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, IG, and TikTok, okay? That's why Eric says, hit us in one of our 4 DMs and say, hey, if you want to cover the NFC East, I got a guess for NFC East, but let's add to the fun, okay? I got somebody we might have somebody for NFC North, but let's add to the fun. So hit us up. And
just think if I would have had like a Bills fan or something to argue with, how much cooler that could have been.
Well, actually, so let me say something real quick about that. One of my colleagues knows a bunch of Buffalo Bills fans, so I told her to make sure that they watch the show. I don't know if they got on or not tonight, but yeah, it's all good though. But what I was gonna say? Oh yeah, and then you can listen to us on Google, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. So again, we thank Rob, aka Anime Dolfan, for being on our show. His YouTube channel and his Twitter account is in the description below. Okay,
appreciate that.
That direction, panel 316, the defensive voice of reason. At an angle, Trish TV, the quarterback that runs this thing.
And a very good dad.
Facts. And then right here, Coach Williams, the NFL encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, quarter host of the show. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Peace.